I want to bring in now our panel. We've got two former Pennsylvania Congress people, Susan Wild and Charlie Dent. We've also got Kimberly Atkins Stohr, a Boston Globe columnist and a former attorney herself. A great group for this present moment. But I want to start first with you, Kimberly, if I can. There was supposed to be, we learned from Sassoon, a superseding indictment here. What do you make of the fact that they're trying to wipe these charges away, just as SDNY is reminding them, not so fast, we had more?
Yeah, Allie, I think that's a crucial element here. There was another grand jury that sat and that gave the go-ahead for obstruction charges to be added on top of the charges that Mayor Adams already was facing. The prosecutors were doing their work by the book. This went before members of his grand jury of his peers, New Yorkers, who said that there is enough here to move forward with charges. So with that to be taken away and to have an order delivered to drop them, irrespective of that work, goes against everything that prosecutors are supposed to stand for. And it underscores this idea that politics should play no role in the determination of prosecutorial decisions. That's a foundational principle of the rule of law. And the fact that now they're putting the public integrity unit to the test in this moment to see if they will stand up for the rule of law or forget their public integrity, leave that by the wayside, and the values that undercut that, that underscore that, is really, really gobsmacking. This is the most openly authoritative act that Trump has done yet.
And Kimberly, I actually want the control room to put a tweet up on the screen from one of your sisters-in-law, Barbara McQuade, who just tweeted that DOJ leadership has put all public integrity section lawyers into a room with an hour to decide who will dismiss the Adams indictment or else all will be fired. She, of course, adds that she's sending them strength to stand by their oath and by the Constitution. But Susan Wild, when you read something like that, what's the reaction you have?
Well, I have to agree. It's about the most authoritative thing we've seen from this president yet, and authoritarian, I should say. And I have to commend the prosecutors and the lawyers, both at SDNY and Main Justice, who have resigned. That's what they should do. As a lawyer myself, I'm proud of them, and I hope that we see more examples of this. But as you just heard from Ms. Rubin, there are plenty of lawyers out there. We've seen this before. Somebody will agree to file the motion to dismiss this indictment. And of course, that tweet that we just saw on the screen was just about an hour ago. So we'll see whether there's a mass firing or whether they come up with a lawyer or two who are willing to sign it. And that's really troubling.
We could be finding the
And it's ultimately, and I keep saying this, it's ultimately going to be up to the courts. Yeah. When I was a young lawyer, I was trained that the judicial system was the backstop. It was the place where we could count on justice. And the judges have a huge responsibility, and I hope they stick to it.
Charlie Dent, you've been around politics a long time. Is it as cut and dry as most people fear here, that the Trump administration basically has the mayor of America's largest city in its pocket now?
Well, it's simply stunning to me that a federal indictment against the sitting mayor of New York City could be dismissed without prejudice, by the way. And according to these prosecutors, in exchange for his cooperation on immigration enforcement. They also go on to say that this indictment is impeding his ability to do his job as mayor. Well, I got news for everybody. Anybody who's ever been indicted federally, their lives are turned upside down. Yeah, it impedes your ability to do your job, just to function as a human being. It's emotionally devastating. I mean, I find this whole thing stunning. And of course, these lawyers are to be commended for their courage. I mean, they understand what their responsibilities are and what their oaths are all about. And good luck finding an attorney who's going to actually put their name on this thing to say this should be dismissed. They're not dismissing this based on what the prosecutors are saying on the facts of the case, but for transparently political reasons. And by filing this thing to dismiss without prejudice means that the administration the Justice Department could refile the charges. That's a sort of Damocles hanging over the head of Adams to make sure that he actually complies in terms of immigration enforcement. So this is beyond stunning. It's gobsmacking.